Hari Om friends, last time we had our first satsang in English and this is the second session on non-duality as taught by Raman Maharshi and Nisargadatta Maharaj. Raman Maharshi advised us to know who am I, and his technique was known as self-inquiry. You inquire into your I-ness. What is this I? Who am I? And once you know the source of this I, then that is the realization, because this I is emerging from that source, which is reality. And reality is non-dual, undivided, one. That is the substratum and illumination for entire creation, for everything. Nisargadatta Maharaj gave us the different tool for that. He says, you just stay, hold on to I am. I am is the primary fundamental truth of your existence. Every one of us feels that I exist. Nobody can deny that you do not exist. So Nisargadatta Maharaj started with this basic truth. He says it is your capital. When you are born, you have come here with this fundamental capital that you are. But then you start adding on this. You start adding on this your name, which is given by your parents, your form and gender. You are a boy, you are a girl. And then when you grow, your parents, your family, your relatives, your neighbors keep on giving you more and more inputs and information, and that all is added on to your I amness, the basic sense of beingness, and your beingness gets obscured. Your pure beingness, which is your nature, that gets obscured, or that gets concealed, or that gets veiled. So Nisargadatta Maharaj says, this is precisely the cause of suffering, that you consider yourself a personality. You consider yourself as a separate entity, having a name, having a form, having a gender, having a body, mind, senses, a sense of separation with sense of doership and enjoyership. Similarly, you are accepting or you are presuming others are also separate individuals. So, this understanding that I am a separate personality, others are separate personalities, and then with this kind of pseudo entity, we start accumulating things, money, positions, relationships, so that we can become stronger, we can become happier, we can live longer. Nisargadatta Maharaj says, Raman Maharshi says, this is the basic illusion. This is ignorance. First, you create a delusion that you are a separate I, you are a separate entity. And then you start an exercise in vain to make that entity happy and joyful. So instead of trying to make that entity happy and joyful, that is my I, Raman Maharshi and Nisargadatta Maharaj will say, first you check whether this, what is this I? Who is this I? Who wants to be happy? Who wants to be at peace? Who wants to be blissful? And when you will investigate this I is not there. This is only a pseudo entity. This is only an appearance. This is only ego created by mind as a separate personality. That is why the Raman Maharshi and Nisargadatta Maharaj, both of them are telling that this is ignorance if I consider I am a body, I am a mind. Body and mind, they are interchangeable. Then what I am? I am means just beingness. Knowledge that I am. And at the level of beingness, my essence, your essence, everybody's essence is that beingness only. Beingness is not divided. Beingness is not divided. It is undivided existence. At the person level, as a ego level, I am separate. You are separate. He is separate. She is separate. So, at the level of personality or ego or a mind level, we are all separate. We are all divided. So, that is the duality. But the moment I come at the fundamental essence level, source level, at being level, then that at the level of being, we are all one. We are all undivided. Knowledge that I am is undivided. And that is Brahman. This is called Brahman in our Upanishad, in our Vedas. Maharshi says it is self. And you, right now, you can have that feeling of I amness. Will you deny that you are not there? You are there. I am there. This feeling of your being is always with you without any change. Maharaj would say like this, that just observe this sense of your presence, sense of your being, that you are or you exist. Now you go back 15 days back and try to recall whether this feeling, this sense of being was there or not. You will say, yes, it was there. The same as it is here now. But if I ask you, what was your mental condition at that time, 15 days back? What were your thought process there? You will say, I don't remember. What was it? I don't remember. And it was definitely different from what I am having now. Then if somebody puts the question, what about your body? You will say, my body might have also gone changes. Might be I was having fever at that time, or I was having headache. So your body means their sensations and vibrations. Body is a bundle of sensations and vibrations only. So your physical body, even 15 days or 1 month before, has undergone some change, visible or invisible, because body is constantly is in constant flux. Certain cells are dying, other cells are getting reborn. So it is not the same body. Same way your thought process, your ideas, your emotions, your perceptions, they all have undergone change. But this sense of I amness, which you have now, this is the same even 15 days back. You go 2 years back. Again, this same question, whether this sense of I am, that I am, whether it was there 2 years back. Yes, it was the same, exactly the same. What I am having today, this time. Go back further, 20 years back. Then also the same sense of I am. So this is the consciousness. It is the proclamation of consciousness, I am. Consciousness is loudly making proclamation in this declaration, I am. I am also making a declaration, consciousness within me. You are also making this declaration, I am. Everyone is making this declaration, I am. Even animals are making this declaration. Of course, they don't have any words, but otherwise they also have that sense of presence. That is why this is called existence as such, undivided, indivisible, that you are. So, what is spirituality? Your shift, your understanding should deepen so that you understand that you are not a personality, you are not a separate entity, you are ultimately and in substance, beingness, a knowledge that you exist. And when you establish in this knowledge, then everything falls in place. And so long as you are considering yourself a separate entity, a person, you are full of suffering. Because you want happiness. Every one of us want happiness. But since this body mind apparatus is subject to change, whatever it wants to do, even if it is achieved in terms of resources, in terms of money, in terms of relationship, that is going to be impermanent. So that will not give you the lasting happiness. And moreover, this sense of separation, the feeling I am a separate individual, is out of ignorance, out of delusion. Because we all are one. There is no sense of separation that you will realize when you go into this practice. That because you consider this body as a real, so you feel that this sense of I amness, that sense of being, is confined in this body. It is not. This sense of being is all pervading everywhere. That is why it is existence. Your sense of being, my sense of being, every sense of being, isme there is no your, mine, or anybody else's. We say my sense of being because I consider myself as an individual. Otherwise, it is a sense of presence. It is a sense of being. So Nisargadatta Maharaj, in his book I Am That, has again and again explained it in such a nice manner. But since we are having the impressions, we have our conditioning right from the time we take birth, we have been given the inputs, so we consider ourselves as a separate individuality or a separate person. And then we want to give it happiness, peace, longevity, which is not possible. So it is a kind of paradox. First, out of ignorance, we have created an illusory identity. I. I am a separate person. And then, based on that ignorance, treating this I as a real, I want to create happiness permanent for that. And my entire life, my entire efforts get spent in satisfying, in fulfilling the desires of this pseudo entity, this ego, in order to make it ever happy. But since my fundamental premise that I am separate is wrong, is false, no efforts, no energy can satisfy, can have a fulfilling effect to bring it into a permanent happiness situation. But so far as my essence is concerned, it is a pure happiness. It is immortal. So, since it is my real nature, happiness is my real nature, these masters are saying, that is why you are craving for happiness. You want to get the taste of that happiness. That happiness cannot be found out in the objects, in the relationships of outside world. That can be found out only within you. So what we have to do? We have to turn our attention from outside to inside. So these masters are saying basically your consciousness or awareness can be further studied from two angles. When your attention is outward, like ours, at this moment when we are consider ourselves as a separate person, then we are always focused outside on objects, on things, on relations. So it is called objective awareness or awareness having contents of objects. It is like a plain paper on which a lot of pictures are made. And if it is turned inward and attention is totally withdrawn from the objects, then it is pure awareness. So pure awareness is your real nature. But awareness, which through outward interactions is invested into objects, into thoughts, into feelings, emotions, into situations, that becomes objective awareness. The other way of understanding this is seer and seen, subject object. If you start discriminating and separating yourself from objects, then you will find you remain only the subject, ultimate subject, and that will be pure awareness. Like you see that the objects around you, your house, your car, worldly things, they are objects one can understand. So for the time being, you withdraw your attention from that. Even you withdraw your attention from the thoughts of that. Then you see your body. If after closing your eyes, if you try to experience your body, you can experience your body. Means this body is also an object of experience. You are the experiencer, you are the subject, and this body is the object of that experience. So, this body is also an object in awareness. So, you just leave this body also. Now, you come to your mind, which consists of thoughts, feelings, emotions. You can watch them. You are aware of those thoughts, means these thoughts, feelings arise in your awareness. They are the objects of your awareness. So they should also be left out. Then ultimately there is a root thought. Out of all the thoughts, the mother thought is I thought. Even the I thought, when you see, this is also arises. This is also an object in your awareness. I thought represents the entire mind. So Maharshi says, you watch this I, and then this I will merge into the source, means it will go into this pure awareness. So ultimately, you have to dissociate from this I also as an object. Then what remains? Only the subject. That is the pure awareness. That is named as self by the Maharshi. That is the self that you are. At that level, the self is undivided, undifferentiated, non-dual, reality, always shining, untainted, unaffected, and you are that, beginningless or endless. And Maharshi and Nisargadatta Maharaj says, since it is your very nature, so within this moment, here and now, you can experience it. You are experiencing it. The best analogy which is given for this is cinema screen and the movie on that. Pure awareness is like a blank screen. What the blank screen does, it provides platform, it provides substratum for that movie, which is played on that. And it also gets illuminated. So, work acting as a platform and also shining, giving light on this. Same thing is yourself. That is the pure awareness. It is only in the pure awareness, it is only in the screen of pure awareness, the objects, thoughts, feelings, situations, they appear as a movie and they shine in the light of that awareness only. So, what we need to do? We need to see first that self in its naked form as a blank screen. And once we are exposed, once we realize that reality, that screen in its true form, then even when the movie is played on that, like your activities, day-to-day activities, your interaction with the objects, with your relationships, your worldly activities, then you will be having the different clarity in your worldly life. Now, in the present time, this objective awareness with objects which you have, it is very much colored. It is colored because of attachment and aversion, rag and dves. Then you will get equanimity, clarity of view. Things will happen automatically. There will be no doership. It's not that a person who has realized he is just totally dissociated from the activities, from the thinking mind, but he has a very clarity and he is unattached. He is like a lotus in the mud. He is in the mud, but not of the mud. The same way, a person who realizes is in the word, but not of the word. He doesn't have that kind of attachment. He has a total clarity and he becomes beneficial. His existence, he is part of existence. Rather, the entire existence takes him as an instrument for the common good of everyone. He doesn't have his ego. He doesn't have his limited self, limited view of his. And he doesn't want to perpetuate any interest, personal interest. He becomes impersonal. He is divinity in essence. And that is your true nature. That is my true nature. And that can happen once, initially by some practices, by turning your mind inward, you can get dissociated from the objects, from your thoughts and feelings. Then you will realize your true nature. That is the pure awareness. That is the self, for which Raman Maharshi has suggested self-inquiry. Who am I? What am I? And Nisargadatta Maharaj has given another tool, I am. Such a wonderful tools out of compassion, out of the grace they have given us. Maharshi says, no amount of meditation can succeed, can lead you to realize yourself. Why? Because meditation is done always with the mind. And mind means thoughts. It is because of the light of mind that our senses become extrovert and we get connected with the outside world. So during the duration of meditation, your mind becomes peaceful, silent, quiet. You feel joy. But whenever you come out of the meditation, the mind will again show you the true colors. So Maharshi says, of course, any kind of practice, any kind of worship has some positive impact. But its results will be very limited. If you want to realize your true self, then this self-inquiry practice or staying in I amness is the best. And that we need to pursue through a small practice, 10 minutes practice or 15-minute practice. And your mind, which is always, rushing, always fluctuating, creating so much of anxiety, restlessness, it will come to rest. Because when you are in yourself, mind is totally suspended. Every day in the sleep, when you go to sleep, your mind becomes totally shut down. Your body, mind, senses, everything becomes shut down. The same type will happen at the time of self-inquiry also. So that is the practice by investigating who is this I and what is this I. So that one need to practice, one need to learn, and that is because of the grace of Maharshi and Raman Maharshi and Nisargadatta Maharaj that we are blessed to have these teachings. These teachings do not reach as such to the entire humanity. First of all, the human beings are not seeking this. The people who are into seeking also, how many of them could get connected to these teachings? That is also by divine design. Because Maharshi and Nisargadatta Maharaj say that it is your destiny. It is your prarabdha. Because of that, you get attracted to some teachings, or you are placed connected to certain sources of teachings. We feel that we are the doer, we are the chooser. No, it is the existence which places you. There are infinite causes for every situation to happen. If you are here in this satsang, it is not merely your doing. Your doing may be a very, very minimal cause for this. The entire existence is making it to happen. That you have to believe. You have to faith in the existence because you are the existence. When you stay in I am, you are the existence. This is the teachings of these sages. Friends, we have again tried to sum up in a simplistic way the same non-dual teachings. When you listen to some of the videos and contemplate on this, gradually, you start getting firm, getting deep into this understanding, listening for the first time that you are not a personality, you are not a person. Many times may be totally unbelievable. But gradually, when you start, investigating, you start again contemplating why, how I am not a personality, then this truth starts gradually revealing to you. So these masters, these sages, we are extremely grateful to their teachings, the wisdom which they have given to us, and we are fortunate to be part of this satsang. And let us express our deep gratitude to these sages. And I conclude this discourse here. Hari Om.